Vitali Verkash asks, hey Luke, can you please elaborate on the following phrases and tell when to use what? Here you are, here you go. There you are, there you go. And he's also added, here it is, there it is. This is really tough. In basic meaning, they are very similar, especially if we just look at the pairs with are and go. We can say those are the same. There you are, there you go. Here you are, here you go. If you look at those pairs, there you are, there you go. Then we can say they're the same meaning, but go feels less formal than are. It's not that there you are or here you are is very formal. It just has a slightly more formal feeling than using here you go and there you go. Just a little bit more. If we say there you go, it feels somewhat casual, quick, right, in the moment. So for slightly more casual situations with people you know a little bit better, you might use go. If you want to have a slight feeling of professionalism, you might say there you are, here you are. So it can be a bit more polite. And also, there it is. But there it is a little different. We'll talk about that. Now, the way to explore this, I think, because they all have the same essential meaning, the basic meaning, the way to explore this is specific cases where one would be used, but not the other two. So let's take here you are, there you are, and there it is. Let's just take these, okay? Here you are, there you are, and there it is. When would we say here you are when we wouldn't say the other two? Well, all of them kind of have the meaning of giving something. When you present something or give something to someone, to provide something to someone, generally you might use here you are. You might use there you are, right? So that's what they mostly have in common, at least in situations where you would be giving something in some way. But let's say you're a driver and you've arrived at the place where you're dropping off your passenger, okay? When you've arrived, we might say, here you are, here you go. Maybe, we might say that. Meaning, I've taken you to your destination. It's not focusing on the here part. The here part is like, I'm presenting something to you, right? We're focusing on the fact that this transaction is now done. It's often at the end of transactions when we use these. We wouldn't use there you are and there you go in that situation. There is an ongoing task which has been completed, and once that is completed, whether it's a transaction or something like driving someone to a place, we might say here you go and here you are. That would be pretty common, and in that situation, in the situation with the taxi or the Uber, we wouldn't say there you are, there you go. There you are and there you go. My sense of its usage tends to be more often used for things that take an instant, or you've asked me for it just now and then I provide it immediately. Like you hand me something that I have to sign, I sign it and I give it back to you and I say, there you go. But I could also say there, here you go, right? It's just a feeling sort of thing, a usage question. I might more often say, there you go, when I've completed something in the moment that you've asked me to do, and it's a quick thing and it doesn't take a long period of time. Now, there is a way to use there you go and there you are when we wouldn't use here you go and here you are. That would be when I've seen something that is a confirmation of another thing that I said earlier, right? So I said, today I think it might rain later. And you say, I don't think so. We can still go out. Then I check my phone, right? I say, there you go. Weather report says it's going to rain, 80% chance. There you go. It's sort of like I've proven or supported something that I said earlier. Now, in that situation, I probably wouldn't say, here you go, unless I'm handing you the phone, and the here you go is the earlier meaning we talked about. I've given you something. I've presented something. So you taking the phone, I'll say, here you go, take my phone. But if I'm talking about the support, the evidence, the stuff, the meaning that stands behind the statement or thing I said earlier, there you go. Sort of like proof of what I said being right. Weather report. That supports what I said earlier. There you go. There you are. 80% chance of rain. So that would be an example of using there you go or there you are instead of here you go and here you are. But again, for either one of those, we might, if we're just handing the phone, hey, can you hand me my phone? We might say, oh yeah, here you go, there you go. Now, if it's just a simple transaction where it's handing something to someone in a physical way, like a phone, and or a coffee cup, or something you've asked for, right, a physical object, it's probably more common to use here you go instead of here you are. I will much more often, if someone says, could you give me that pen, say, yeah, here you go, instead of, yep, there you go, right? I will much more often use here you go instead of there you go when I give them that pen or give them the phone. Okay, so that's those two. Now, what about here it is, there it is? So that also could be used possibly in the taxi Uber situation when I'm pointing at the building. Yep, here it is. Or I'm the passenger and the driver doesn't know where to stop and I want to point at a thing. And I'll say, here it is, here it is. This is the building. This is where I live. This is the address. But that's not quite the same meaning, is it? That's pointing out where something is, right? So here it is. Or, excuse me, there it is. And here it is. Both could be used to say like a finger point right there. Now, if it's very close to me, it's in my pocket and I pull it out, then I'll say, here it is. If it's a building over there, then I'll say, there it is. Here it is with me. There it is. Now, if you said here it is about the building too, okay, that's fine. I'm pointing something out. Here it is and there it is. They're like a finger point, right? Now, how else could we use here it is and there it is? Often for discovery. So we're looking for something. We're trying to find something. Something is lost. Where is that receipt? We're looking. Look, where's the receipt? Where's the receipt? Here it is. Here it is. Could we use there it is? Yes. Depends on where it is. If it's near me and I'm standing there and I see it in front of me, I'll say, here it is. I found it. If it's farther away from me, I'll say, there it is instead. The line between here and there is not so clear. It's more relative to where you are. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. For example, the building, here it is, there it is, maybe doesn't matter so much as long as we're close to it. The receipt, if it's across the room and I'm moving closer toward it, maybe I could use here it is, but probably there it is. If it's immediately near me, then I'll say probably here it is. So I hope that makes sense. I know that's a lot. This is a tough question. I would encourage you to explore all of these, examples of all of these on thefreedictionary.com. You can find more examples. That's a great website for finding examples of idioms and phrases. And hopefully this gives you at least a sense of the different ways in which we can use these. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button or thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. And also check out my full courses in the links in the description.